Hello friends, welcome back. Let us continue with our discussion with group leadership. In our previous session, we talked about different traits of a group leader. We have talked about some different features of a group leader and different styles of leadership, that is autocratic, democratic or laissez-faire. In this session, I am going to discuss about some approaches to contemporary leadership style. Apart from the leadership styles we have already talked about in a previous session, in this session I will talk about some new styles of leadership, although there are reflections of the other three previous leadership styles, but how contemporary leadership styles have become more prominent in organizational behavior in order to adapt different situations and members. So, let us talk about the first theory of contemporary leadership is leader member exchange theory, which is also known as LMX theory by Danseru, Grain and Haga in the year 1975. This is LMX is the acronym and given to the leader member exchange, and this theory is a relationship based theory. This approach is completely based on relationship orientation, that how a leader maintains a positive relationship with its members and then move towards the goal. Now, this relationship is not that simple relationship, some kind of formal and informal relationship established between the leader and the follower. So, when we talk about this leadership style, it is also known as the two-way or the dialectic relationship, that is two-way means leader and the follower and to and fro. That is why it is a dyadic relationship. It is also widely known as the vertical dyad linkage theory, and the goal of this theory is to explain the effects of leadership on members, teams and organizations, but that effect is just because of the quality of relationship that a leader maintains with the leader. So, this is the most important feature of LMX theory, which is completely based on relationship orientation and how that relationship orientation impacts or influences its followers. So, LMX, in this kind of approach, the leaders form strong trust and bonding and respect with the followers, with some members of the group, but not with others. Generally, it is expected that a leader will have good relationship with the every member. Actually, relationship is there with every member, but a leader definitely to certain point of time will maintain a very close bonding, trust and healthy relationship with some of its members of the group, while not with others. So, LMX theory argues that because of time pressure and standards and demands, leaders establish a special relationship with a small group of their followers. That means, maybe a group of 10 or 15 members, maybe 3 or 4 members will be very close to the leader, or the leader is close to those members. So, that gives lot of power to the leader itself, because there is time pressure, there is demand, and how to reach that goal while surviving in that demanding situation, the leader tends to become more close while being more trustworthy with those members in comparison to the other group members. Now, when this relationship or bond is created so intimate between the leader and the member, they form an in-group, where the members are very close to the leader, or the leader is close to 3 or 4 members, while the other group members are considered as out-group, because the leader will not share that kind of bonding or relationship with that of in-group. So, within the group itself, when the leader establishes some special relationship with the group members, they form an in-group, that they are trusted and get a disproportionate amount of leaders' attention and are more likely to receive special privileges, and the other followers fall into the out group. So, when the leader is so closely knitted, the relationship is so closely knitted with few members of the group, that they receive lot of attention of the leader and they enjoy some kind of privileges or entitlements, then those members are considered as the in group within the same group itself, and the other members are considered as out group, because those members do not receive that amount of attention which the in group members tend to receive, even the privileges or entitlement. So, when we talk about the in group, within the group itself, these members receive great responsibilities and encouragement to perform the task, express their opinions, and there is more freedom and less restrictions. which is but obvious. So, their ideas are frequently accepted and considered by the leader, and the leader is very much influenced in the decision making process, and additionally the group members also obtain some access to resources. So, these are the privileges that any members of the in-group would enjoy when the leader is close knitted with those specific number of group members. So, this is the advantage of being an in-group member within any group. Whereas, when we talk about the out-group relationship, the relationship exists, but it is very formal. It is as per the rules, and it is as per the rule in the way that members will perform as per the decision that has been taken formally for those members, and they are not generally favored by the leader. They just belong to this category and are generally disfavored by the leader. Their viewpoints are generally not accepted, and furthermore, they may not have full access to the resources in comparison to the in-group members, and they are allocated few responsibilities that rank lower on the subject of importance. So, this is the difference about being an in-group or out-group member when we talk about LMX or leadership member exchange theory of leadership. Now, the point is that in this kind of leadership style, whenever there is time pressure, whenever the environment is demanding, it is very difficult for the leader to approach every member. The leader tries to establish a very close bonding with some specific members, identifying those members who have better knowledge in comparison to some other followers, and he or she tries to establish that kind of relationship with those members and form in-group, and the other members fall in the category of out-group. So, the theory states that the leaders induce LMX by rewarding employees with whom they want a closer linkage and with whom they do not. For the LMX relationship to remain intact, the leader and the follower must invest in the relationship. So, it is not only that the leader is just extending his or her hand towards those specific group of members, even the in-group members have to reciprocate in order to establish that relationship within that organization. So, it is basically not a very political issue to be highlighted, but it is something that as per the situation, the leader maintains this kind of membership within organization. The in-group members have demographic, attitude and personality characteristics similar to those of the leader or high level of competence than out-group members. As I mentioned that under any time pressure or demanding situations, the leader tries to identify people who match with his own attitudes and personality and have the same level of competence in order to reach the objective in comparison to the out-group members. LMX influences work outcomes in terms of improving trust, motivation, empowerment, creativity, innovation and job satisfaction. Empowerment is very important in LMX leadership style, because whenever any member who becomes the member of in-group, then that member has more freedom to take his own decision, that gives him a sense of freedom in form of empowerment. They also receive high performance ratings, engage in citizenship behaviors, engage less in counterproductive work behaviors and report greater satisfaction with their superiors. So, this is but obvious that those members of the in-group are more close to the management or to the higher authority. They understand the nitty-gritty of the whole management in a very intricate manner, and they tend to understand the system in a more openness and innovativeness. So, there comes the role that they tend to receive more acknowledgement and recognition from their authority, and they engage in productive forms of behavior rather than engaging in counterproductive work behaviors. So, this is a diagrammatic representation of the LMX theory, where the leader is in a reciprocative relationship between subordinate A, B and C, and the level of interaction is very high. They are more close, their interaction levels are more frequent, whereas the outgroup interactions like subordinate D, E, A and F, they are members of the group, but the relationship is formal with the group leader. So, existence is there, but interaction level is varying from between the in-group and the out-group with the leader. So, this is a leader member exchange theory of leadership. So, what are the advantages of leader member exchange theory? So, when we talk about LMX theory based on in-group and out-group, so when in-group is created within the group, it nurtures high quality relationship, it provides a nuanced understanding of the rapport between the leaders and their team. That is obvious, because there is the team members are close to the higher authority or to the management or to the whole system, and they understand the situation of the leader in a better way because of time pressure or demanding environment, and this enhances the relationship between the leader and the group members. The performance is also enhanced because they get more access to the resources, they have more information definitely and more freedom. So, this enhances their performances. There is more job satisfaction because the enhanced relationship with the leader breeds a more fulfilling work experiences, because there is more sharing of the opinions, there is more sharing of the feelings, because even emotions are very much playing active role in maintaining that robust relationship between leader and the in-group members. The feedback mechanism is constructive because this theory encourages frequent and meaningful interaction between leaders and the in-group members. This provides constructive feedback mechanism leading to professional growth and development. So, there is less room for criticism and more for growth and development based on positive or constructive feedback. Individualized leadership. This theory enforces that leaders interact differently with their team members. By understanding this, managers can tailor their leadership style according to each member's needs, skills and work habits, ultimately driving better results. Now, if I go back to this diagram, so when the leader is maintaining high level interactions with particular in-group members, then within this in-group itself, the leader can adopt any other different leadership style as well. Maybe it can be democratic, it can be laissez-faire as well, or sometimes autocratic, while understanding the situation and then get the task done. So, this is about that how not only LMX theory is working, within the LMX theory the leader can also execute any other leadership style with the in-group members in order to get the task done. So, this is about individualized leadership, and the other advantage is maintaining balance. Leaders understand the importance of maintaining a balance between professional relationship and task delegation, helping them to avoid favoritism and ensure fairness within the workplace. Now, fairness within the workplace means taking the right decision for the whole organization in order to achieve maximum effectiveness and minimum disruption. So, this is about maintaining balance. So, here even when in-group and out-group is there, maybe the in-group has been created for the overall effectiveness of the organization, overall enhancement in the performance of the organization. The other is limitations of the leader-member exchange theory. What are the limitations? Perception of favoritism. There is clear distinction between the member and the out-group members, and which can potentially spur sentiments of favoritism within the team, adversely affecting the morale of the out-group. Now, maybe the intention of creating an in-group is not ill of the leader, but out-group members can perceive that favoritism is existing in the group, and that can mar the morale of the employees and tend to demotivate employees to even perform their basic responsibility. Reduced cohesion, definitely when the leader is more close to the in-group members in comparison to the out-group members, then the group becomes less cohesive. Less cohesive means maybe the in-group would become more cohesive and the out-group will become less cohesive in comparison to others, because they are dividing the group into two. The other is limited development opportunities. More potential for growth and development exists for the in-group members in comparison to the out-group members, which again mars the morale, growth, development of the out-group members, which underscores the urgency of addressing these issues to maintain a high level of motivation and engagement. When in-group members are more empowered, they have more freedom to take their own decisions in comparison to the out-group members, then they feel demotivated and less engaged. There is resistance to change. The LMX theory might make it difficult for leaders to introduce changes in the team, particularly when alterations affect the status and roles of in-group and out-group members. When more freedom is given to in-group members, they accept changes wholeheartedly, but if less freedom is given to out-group members, then they also resistant to change. That is a repercussion of what they cannot enjoy or access in comparison to the in-group members. There is more perception of inequality. Definitely in-group members perceive more freedom and more favoritism, access to resources in comparison to the outgroup members. So, outgroup members experience inequality at the workplaces, and this becomes a challenging task for any leader to maintain that balance. Minimizing negativity, the development of outgroup can foster negativity in the workplace. It becomes crucial for the leader to ensure feelings of alienation are kept to the minimum while working towards the inclusion of these outgroup members. Definitely, outgroup members find difficulty to understand that why the leader has maintained more stronger relationship with the in-group members in comparison to the group members, and while outgroup members will experience feelings of alienation, but at the same time the leader also finds difficulty to keep this sense of alienation among outgroup members at bay or to the minimum. Flexibility, leaders aiming to utilize LMX theory may find that the adaptability and flexibility may need to be enhanced. Differentiating treatment between team members based on their individual relationship requires a certain level of managerial adaptability. So, here comes the foremost responsibility of the leader, that even the leader has identified the group into two, that is in group and out group, but even the leader has to maintain that kind of connection with the out group members while being more adaptable to the demands of the out group members. So, all in all, the leader has to play a very important role in the LMX theory only, where he is taking care of not only the in-group members, but he is also focusing the same kind of thought process with the out-group members, where he is playing to be more flexible in order to sustain and retain members of out-group as well, right. So, this is about the leader member exchange theory developed by Danseru, Grein and Hagen in the year 1975. We will continue more discussing about other contemporary theories of leadership. That is all for this session. Thank you so much.